Hello and welcome everyone, Lionheart here with another Warcast, joined by the regular co-host Alex the Rambler.
Hello! Warrior Sparta looks so unenthusiastic right now.
And Warrior Sparta.
I have a new baby. I'm shattered.
Hello. And this month's guest is the Heir of Carthage.
What the crap's going on, Warcast?
Fantastic. So, just before we go any further, if I sound odd, it's because I'm currently deaf in one ear, and I'm boosting all the audio through my other ear. So, yeah, I sound odd, and Warrior is barely holding it together, I think.
And I think there might be a bit of delay with Air, as he's in the US, so I think there's like a little bit of a...
Bit of delay.
Yeah. Is it? He's still there, right? He's still in the call.
Yes, I just have to get off of mute when you ask me something.
So we love technology here. So this month's Warcast is a little bit different. We're gonna ask Air what he thinks of Warhammer, and then we'll probably talk about the Dwarven teaser for Warhammer that was shown at Gamescom. And then very much the theme of this month's Warcast is Gamescom and other games as well. And seeing as we've got Air on, we're going to talk about the Halo Wars 2 that is being developed by Creative Assembly and is it
343 Industries.
343 Industries in collaboration together, and see what Air thinks about that. Plus, Rambler's going to talk about
Stellaris. I probably should have read a little bit about it. I just picked it because I thought it looked cool. I haven't really looked into it much.
You've got time. You've got time.
Yeah, I'm just going to read it now. Please continue.
I was going to mention some bits about Mount & Blade Bannerlord, and we'll all chip in and see how that goes.
Let me just look that up as well. So
let's put Air on the spot, and I think reading from your comments on some of the Total War official trailers that have gone up, you've been quite hesitant to sort of jump into Warhammer, and what are your thoughts on Warhammer, Total Warhammer so far?
So the only reason I've been hesitant is because I don't know what it is. So before they announced it, if you had asked me what Warhammer is, I'd be like, I don't know, big hammer that they hit people with. It's like, I don't know. So for me, it's like if you announced Napoleon Total War, but I had been living, on Mars in a cave and had never heard of Napoleon. So I don't think that I will dislike the game. I'm going to have to get to play it and get to understand, I think, the characters and stuff. And unfortunately, I just don't have the time to dig into the lore or anything else like that. So I'm excited about a new Total War all the way, but just not really sure what to think about the background setting. But I think for me, the biggest key going into this one is if they can hit mechanics and just knock out some good classic Total War action, I think I'll like it regardless.
What's your thoughts about not knowing about the lore? Because I'm in the similar boat as yourself there. Are you concerned about it? Do you think you'll be able to pick it up quite quickly?
Well, I think that when it comes to a campaign, it's pretty easy for me, right? As long as they give me options to enslave populaces or destroy all settlers or looting or whatever it is, it'll pretty much come natural. So
this is it. I mean, when people are concerned about maybe us not knowing a lot about Warhammer at the moment and lore, don't worry. We play Total War. If we're Total War YouTubers, we'll pick it up. And in terms of the lore, I treat it like it's a piece of history. It's something I don't know about. I'll work it out. I'll look into it. I'll research it. I'm sure in time we'll become a lot more knowledgeable in it.
I think as it's story-based as well, it's got definitely more elements of storytelling than previous Total War games. You'll get to know about the lore as you kind of progress through the campaign with those kind of historical not historical battles, but the battles that will occur as you progress through the story, like the battle
quest battles.
The quest battles. Sorry, the quest battles.
Yeah, I mean, treat it like that. Treat it like a great story, a great adventure. So that's what I'm going to treat it like. So I'm looking forward to it because we all love fantasy. We love Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, all those sort of stuff. So I think it'll be something that I'm getting quite pumped for, even from what I've seen so far. So.
I mean, Air, are you a fantasy man? Are you a Lord of the Rings fan, or what's your go-to fantasy of choice?
I mean, yeah, treat it like that. Treat it like a great story, a great adventure. So that's what I'm going to treat it like. So I'm looking forward to it because we all love fantasy. We love Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, all those sort of stuff. So I think it'll be something that I'm even more
Yeah, so that's the funny thing is that I find myself initially when I see Warhammer, I'd be like, I'm not into like fantasy, and then I say, well, I like Halo, and I've read books for that. I like Star Wars, and it's like, so I don't know what made my mind initially think that those things are more reality than Warhammer, because clearly they're not. So
Star Wars
I
isn't
think
real?
that I am into fantasy. I've always been a big fan of Halo. I love Lord of the Rings. It's good stuff. I've read all the books. So I think that's a part of the reason why I'm not really scared about Warhammer. I don't understand it. I don't even think I had seen or read anything about Lord of the Rings until after they released the Return of the King movie. And then I found myself catching up and realizing that it was good. So, if it's something that's good, it'll just come along. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah. What, I mean, you're very much, I mean, I know you do lots of campaigns as well, but you're well known for your abilities on the multiplayer battlefield. What are some potential multiplayer features you'd be hoping or looking for them to introduce in Total War Warhammer?
That's a good question. So can you all refresh me? Isn't it like they're thinking like 4 main playable factions to start with, right?
Yeah, Empire, Dwarves, Vampire Counts, and Greenskins.
Yeah, so I was almost thinking if you're going to start off with kind of like a low faction count, it would be really cool to have each faction obviously have some very clear specialty that makes them who they are. And I would think from as far as like a multiplayer game modes, I've always liked the idea of returning, of course, free-for-all modes. But then I'd like to potentially see Total War, like as I see Arena, I start to realize there's all these potential for game modes in Total War multiplayer that really haven't been taken advantage of yet. I mean, you think about other games, and I know that shooter games tend to have a lot of game modes, but I don't think that lots of game modes have to be limited to shooter games. I mean, could you have a King of the Hill or kind of a territories or a free for all? Like, I mean, you could have all these different ideas. I think I'd love to see Warhammer explore some of that. I don't know if that's their intention though, since it's going to be story based. It's probably going to be heavily campaign driven.
I'd love to see. I'd love to see more.
Who knows?
I'd love to see more multiplayer. Sorry, I'd love to see more players be able to play a co-op campaign, sort of like 3 or 4 players maybe, as well. That'd be good, and maybe even the free-for-all aspect, bringing that back.
We all had a lot of fun on a free-for-all on Medieval 2 recently. Utter chaos, but yeah, it's just to be fair, thinking on the multiplayer aspect, you're right. Their free-for-all was an extra game mode, and then it's gone from the more recent Total Wars, and there's not been anything to replace it. You've essentially got what, 3 battle types: land battle, siege battle, and naval battle.
Yeah.
It's never been as good as it was in Shogun 2 for multiplayer, was it?
The Avatar.
The Avatar Conquest.
That was a really good idea. What did you think about that?
Took a backward step.
So if I heard it right on the forums, I was reading around, and tell me if I'm wrong, but didn't they confirm that they're not going to be returning anything like Avatar Conquest? Yeah. I want to say what I saw said it's just going to be similar to what we've seen in Rome 2 and Attila.
Yeah, I have seen that they're not looking to return to that, but I mean, I thought Avatar was great. It's a shame that they're not looking to bring that back, especially with Warhammer, where you could create your own custom general or something like that. You could have your own, almost like your own. I know they've sort of said that you can have your own agents and warrior lords and things like that in the campaign and build their own trees up with a lot of customization. It's a shame that doesn't come over to multiplayer.
Yeah, exactly. It gives you that aspect of progressing a little bit, doesn't it, with your multiplayer?
I think they might introduce like different kind of customizations for your units, as obviously the tabletop is all about kind of customizing your units and painting them to how you would want them. So I reckon that could be a good multiplayer feature, or even just a campaign feature, to be able to kind of have your units in different colours. Even that kind of just basic customization might give it a little bit more flair. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think it's an area that definitely needs some more attention. I mean, extra game modes, they're not particularly taxing, surely, on free for all. You just turn off the team limits, surely, and just say everyone can attack anyone. I like the idea that Air said earlier of like a King of the Hill or something like that. I mean, within the umbrella of all the studios Sega has, I mean, Relic have that kind of sort of capacity within the Company of Heroes games, where you hold various capture points for specific times. We've done that, haven't we? Yeah, capture points on the battlefield, actually. Yeah, Attila brought capture points to
No, Rome 2.
Rome 2 did,
Rome
but
2,
they took those
yeah.
out because everyone.
So
Yeah.
but yeah, you could capture specific spots to gain points, and yeah.
Well, look at the work they've done with Arena. They've implemented a new mechanic with Arena. Try and implement that in some way. You know, sort of work on that.
I did actually see. Sorry, it's just the tiniest bit related to that, but I saw someone comment on one of my videos saying that I don't know if this was just completely random comment or whatever, but he said one of his friends was actually trying to mod or either he was trying to or has successfully modded the Roman heavy infantry charge from Arena into Rome.
Oh really?
So,
into Rome?
Yeah, into Rome 2.
True.
Into Rome 2, yeah. So I don't know if that is even possible. Maybe that's BS, but if people can take parts from Arena to, I mean, I think it would be quite extensive to be doing something on the multiplayer level, but
yeah, I think that there'd be I don't know whether they'll focus on it or not, but I think that and so I hope that people don't take me the wrong way. Like when I talk about things that I hope to see in Warhammer, if they don't show up, I don't think it means it's an instant disappointment for me. As I've often been caught off guard by releases of different games. Like, so I remember whenever Shogun 2 was leading up to a release, I was like, man, I don't know, medieval Japan, that's just not cool. It's not Rome. And then it released, and I loved it. And then I kind of went back and forth whether I liked Avatar multiplayer a bunch. And in the end, you know, I guess that I ended up, I think, liking more of the aspects of it whenever given the opportunity to kind of pass back to something more old school on Rome 2 and Attila. So I think that I'd love to see CA do these things. If it doesn't make it into this title, I think as long as we keep the conversation going and we keep that up and let them know, I think eventually it finds its way back in. Yeah. I definitely think Warhammer would lend itself to a system like that, so I would love to see them, you know, if they have development time left to add something like that.
Yeah,
I mean, especially when you have the opportunity where, you know, like an Avatar system could be, you know, pick a general, it has to be, I don't know, whatever they're called, Empire, Orcs, or whatever, Greenskins, or Dwarves, or whatever it is, you pick one, and then kind of like your Avatar Conquest, you can unlock maybe each one. It would give you something to unlock the different units and the different trees, and then those factions have certain abilities. So if you're going to go into like team gameplay, you know, it might be handy to combine Empire with Greenskins, or, you know, whatever it is. Like you can, and I hope I didn't just commit like mortal sin and Warhammer lore to say that those two could be together. I don't know, but you know, I think people get where I'm going. Like it would be kind of fun from that standpoint, and I think I've been surprised with Arena so far, at least. I like that it's very casual, but it also has all the elements there to be a competitive game. Yep. And I hope that Total War continues to do that, in the sense to where if you're like me, you've been at work all day and you just want to come home and play some matches, boom, hit matchmaking, there you go, you have a lot of fun. If you're someone who wants to be competitive, then you know, you have those elements in there and you can do it. So I kind of like where they're going with Arena. Hopefully some of those ideas and elements find their way into other aspects of multiplayer for Total War.
It seems to me like we're getting to a stage almost where they've got all the right pieces, but they're not all together yet in one singular title. So Arena's pushing the kind of multiplayer aspects, and I'm sure it looks like they're developing kind of the role-playing element within Warhammer with the way that you customize your agents and your heroes and things like that. And obviously they are in parallel working on whatever historical titles next.
There you go.
So it'll be interesting to see what from, you know, Arena, what from Warhammer filters into this next historical game, and whether that's potentially the next Total War to really add in a load of different features and different options. With Warhammer, though, when you're talking about them potentially adding in some Avatar potential, I mean, there's going to be 3 Warhammer games in installments, so maybe I think that's meant to expand the campaign map into one overall large campaign map by the end. So maybe along the way that adds in more customization or battle or multiplayer modes perhaps, or something like that. It'll be interesting to see what they do with it. So
agreed.
Yeah. I think while we're on Warhammer quickly, should we just briefly talk about the Dwarf or the Dwarves teaser?
What teaser?
It was very,
you haven't seen it?
Was it 20 seconds or something?
Yeah, I'm only teasing you.
In fact, quick pause. I'll throw it up on screen right now in editing.
Something stirs in the World's Edge Mountains.
Does that mean I have to stop talking?
No, we're back now. It's all good. Magic of editing.
Oh, okay.
What? How does
So
that work?
that was the teaser, guys. Very short. That was
Lionheart
shown.
is magic.
Lionheart has magic.
Yeah.
Magic fingers. That was shown on a live stream while CA were at Gamescom, and it shows a dwarven gyrocopter,
Yes.
which
The chap seemed to be trying to fix, and then he heard the spider and looked like he was
the Arachnarok,
in for some
isn't it?
trouble.
Now, this is only for the dads out there. There is some dads who watch our channels. The guy who narrated it sounded like Peppa Pig's dad, Daddy Pig.
Wow, that is a dad question, isn't it?
So
Yeah,
I'm sure his voice is on it. I'm sure that's the voice. If it is, I'm going to ask CA.
Is Peppa Pig in America?
Yes, indeed.
Have you watched it?
Not with my son yet, because he's a bit young, but I have plenty of nieces that have put me through it a lot.
Daddy Pig's voice.
Put you through
that is
it.
his voice.
I love how that's
his
the
voice.
description.
That is his voice.
I think it was the leader, wasn't it? Grudge, someone. The dwarven, the voiceover was meant to be the dwarven leader.
The Dwarven King or something like that.
Yeah, let me. Oh, crap, I forgot the name.
What was this gyrocopter all about? Do we know? How have you found this out then? Is this on?
Well, there was some stuff on the forums, and people are speculating whether it will be a singular unit, like a giant or something like that, or whether it will be like the Trolls, which is kind of groups of slightly larger units. So you might have like a little squadron of gyrocopters that you can fly around the battlefield. And
But what's this referring to? I mean, obviously, why is he running? Why is there panic in him?
I think he's trying to escape. Yeah, he's trying to escape from a big Arachnarok spider. Because the green-skinned goblins have all entered the dwarven mines or tunnels, it would seem, and he's trying to get out of there.
And something stirs. Obviously, we're talking about the Arachnarok.
Something stirs in the deep.
No, that's Lord of the Rings. Come on.
Oh, sorry, Thorgrim Grudgebearer.
There we go.
That's what everyone's saying. The voiceover chap is meant to be.
I'm pleased they are looking at dwarves now. It's because I wanted to look at see how they work. They catch my eye the most. I think I meant dwarves. So.
Yeah, we've got dwarves and vampire counts still to get a look in, really. Because
what will chaos do? What will chaos be in all this? I want to see.
Death.
Yeah, I want to see it because their units look fantastic. Chaos.
I am quite looking forward to the vampire counts though, because the ability, if you could actually you have one of your spells is to kind of bring back the dead units and kind of send them against you.
I was actually having this discussion with a friend while we were playing Arena the other day. Just he used to play loads of Warhammer Fantasy back in the day, and he was saying that he wants to know how the mechanic for those units is going to work for vampire counts, because essentially they're undead. They keep coming back. You can't like kill them as such. You just kind of knock them down for a bit,
like the White Walkers.
Yeah, like how do you kill the undead?
How do you kill the dead? Yeah.
I thought that was like what, garlic and oak steaks, right?
Yeah. That's what I mean. A quest battle for them.
Quest for the huge garlic, the golden garlic.
Garlic foams.
If anyone's watching and is up to date with the Warhammer Fantasy lore, is there a way to kill the vampire counts and the undead armies that they have? What's the most?
Well, there's got to be somewhere.
Is it kill it with fire? That normally works, right? Kill it with fire.
You can turn on my videos and listen to the bad puns over and over again. It'd probably do the trick.
Brilliant. But there's got to be some way else. I mean, in terms of the law as well, there must be some way else. They would rule the whole of the old world, wouldn't they? If not, so there's got to be something to stop them.
Well, again, like magic is still limited. They can't just keep going.
Maybe it'll be something like location based. Like they can't actually spread out too far from their own lands, because the further they go, the less units they can perhaps bring back.
What is it in the north? You've got the
winds of magic, isn't it?
Chaos is in the north, isn't
the chaos winds or something like that. There's some winds somewhere that do stuff.
Yeah.
Usually coming out from my bottom.
Powering the winds of magic round its arse. 2015. Oh, beautiful.
There's also... Oh, carry on.
I don't know how to follow up.
I don't know.
Really.
No, I'm pretty much... Yeah.
But, so there was that short teaser, and I guess that means that hopefully maybe by the end of August we'll actually see some vampire counts and dwarfs, perhaps.
I imagine it'll probably be dwarves more so than vampire counts. They'll probably reveal the vampire counts, maybe September, October time?
Maybe, yeah. I was just thinking...
Keep kind of the snippets of information coming
that
through.
Hype. Well, they'll do more... They've picked out singular units to have a look at before, haven't they, with unit spotlights, the demigryphs.
Yeah.
And the Luminarch of Heish?
Heish, yeah. The Border Princes. The
Border Princes, right.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what aspect they play in it, because I know they sort of are sort of very close to where the greenskins are, I think, and things like that. So I want to see how they play in all of this, because they're very close to the Empire.
Just a thought. I mean, we've spoken about it, and I mentioned it earlier, with just 4 factions that have been announced that are playable. I guess that could change, but that obviously seems to be the, what's coming from CA at the moment, that there's four factions of Empire, greenskins, vampire counts, and dwarves.
The different factions within. So there's probably going to be multiple.
Yeah, but I mean, even if it is 4 factions, is that so bad? Because we had 4 factions for Napoleon Total War when that came out?
No. But there'll be like factions within the factions. So it's like 4 races. There's 4 playable races.
They've said races with depth though, but they've not 100% confirmed that it's you could just be playing with this large. Depthy unit.
Could you break up? Could you break?
They have confirmed. They have said like you're not going to start with a huge empire. So you probably will start. I reckon you'll be able to pick and choose which part of the empire you control.
Okay. So you could choose one of the the electorates, because there's more than.
That's kind of like a Crusader King style to it. Like you could play as the Kingdom of England, but then you could choose any duke within that to start off with his little dukedom sort of thing, and then spread from there. Okay, fair enough. That's the way. But I mean, if for instance it was just 4, is that so bad? I mean, Napoleon had 4 factions.
No, I think that's fine.
I mean, they have obviously said they're looking to expand it with more factions in each subsequent Warhammer game.
Yeah.
To make it a huge campaign map.
Yeah, I reckon it'd be like with the Empire, for example, you play as a particular elector count, because obviously there's the Karl Franz is the elector count of Reichland. Maybe there'd be like elector counts of other parts and things like that.
So you will have tons of vassals, but you'll control a little bit of it.
Maybe,
there'll be tons of like different Empire vassals that
Sassanids.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, like with the Sassanids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we talk about Halo Wars 2?
There was just one more question I wanted to throw out to everyone, Warhammer related, because they're looking to expand the campaign map with each game that they add, so it's actually one. When it's all together, it should fit together like a puzzle as one big campaign map. There was a question from Mr. Smart Donkey saying, how will that work with like existing campaigns? Like if you've completed a campaign, as it were, does that mean that there's extra objectives when they add it in? How do you think that'll work with them adding more map space to your existing campaigns or ones that you completed? Can you go back, or?
I do not know.
What do you think?
Well, yeah, they could code that into the game, couldn't they?
They could do it, yeah.
They did it with Crusader Kings too.
Yeah.
Well, they've added extra parts to Crusader Kings 2 to the whole map, so it's a lot larger than it used to be.
Okay.
They added the whole subcontinent of India.
Cool. Yeah.
For example.
Okay then.
So it is possible to, I guess, hard code in extra parts of the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess they kind of did it with Medieval 2 in the fact that you could go to the... well, it wasn't even added in, but it was still there, but it unlocked towards the end of the game. Yeah, with Medieval 2, it's like this is the end game.
Well, exactly. And there's all the other the theatres of war with Empire as well, and you can, I think that's all.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
What do you think, Heir?
I don't know quite how they're going to pull it off, but I'd probably need to know more about Warhammer to understand whether or not it's possible. But just think again, back to Napoleon would be my thought. I mean, it was like the most story-driven Total War to this point. Yep. And you could use like the smaller campaigns to unlock the grand campaigns. So, I mean, I don't see it as infeasible by any means to kind of come out in an installment almost.
Yeah, no, I think they'd be good able to code that in somehow. How they do it, obviously, they had the text for that, but I'm sure there will be some way.
Right, Halo Wars 2.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm like Heir of Carthage in reverse. I don't know anything about Halo.
Well, let's Heir tell us what this means. How excited are you?
I'm pretty excited. So I don't know. So I was kind of late to the game getting an Xbox 360 because I was in college, and most of my money was spent on ramen noodle for sustenance as opposed to video games. But eventually I got one, and I got caught up on Halo 3, and I had never really even played Halo Wars, but of course I was a big fan of strategy games. This was before I really got into Total War, probably a little while before it, and I was into Age of Empires. And so the Ensemble Studios had made Halo Wars, and so it was kind of the same company. It was only on Xbox. It was a little bit weird to use like a controller to play a strategy game, but kind of get used to it. It was a lot of fun. It was great if you're a Halo fan, because obviously you get like a little bit of extra story that's out there in the Halo lore or universe. And so I'm pretty dang excited about it. It was a fun story. I don't know how much you want me to get into it, but I mean, you had an interesting cast of characters on it. I guess it was actually the events in the original Halo Wars were kind of a prequel to what happened in the original Halo Combat Evolved. So the story takes place in the Halo universe slightly before that time, before the Chief finds the Halo and kind of kicks off the whole the story. So, but then in the end of it, they kind of get trapped forever in this Forerunner construct, and so it definitely leaves a big cliffhanger. Be interesting to see where that picks up, and then. In the meantime, you had all this Halo universe expanding in the game since then. So it could be interesting to see whether or not this kind of stays as like a standalone story, or if these characters are going to be kind of brought back into the mainstream Halo, especially with the new releases coming up. You got Halo 5 and everything else coming out. So, and then just to see the Creative Assembly got pulled in, I was like, man, that's awesome.
Was it set before Reach?
It was. So it was set initially. It was set during a time in the Halo War, which was after the Human Covenant War started.
Right.
I guess there was a colony called Harvest.
Yeah.
And the ship was sent to help retake Harvest, and that's kind of where it all kicks off. So it definitely takes place before the fall of Reach, because that was also another prequel when they threw Halo Reach out there.
Yeah, because I did play Halo Wars. I just can't remember the story very well. It's been a good few years.
How much do you think, Ed, it will be in terms of with this game? How much influence will we see from previous Total Wars? When obviously it being is it more of an RTS, isn't it?
Actually,
yes.
I've just found...
it's kind of a real-time RTS, but I'm not sure what the new one's supposed to be.
I don't think they're meant to be making it into a Total War Halo.
No,
I've actually just found an article that says Halo Wars 2 will not be Total War Halo.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Cool.
They've said that they want to use the previous Halo Wars as a starting point and go from there, but it's not going to be a Total War Halo game. So
yeah, I don't know that the two would fit real well anyway. You have to reconstruct Total War to fit Halo.
It would be a completely separate department, won't it? Doing this separate team, getting involved with this, and not like Alien was a separate team for CA. It would be same for that, I'm sure.
Yeah, you know, the interesting thing with this though is Halo Wars being a real-time strategy probably lends itself to some other possibilities. Like there's a lot of people in the Total War community clamoring for like a World War I or World War II Total War, which a lot of us would probably think, well, I don't see how that would fit, you know, because the combat changed from like these large scale kind of line type engagements to, you know, more of a squad based or, you know, something else like that. And so, you know, if Creative Assembly finds themselves delving into another format, who's to say whether or not the lessons learned there couldn't open the door to some future historical based titles as well.
We've had this with going back to Warhammer very quickly. The steam tanks now, the tank aspects of Warhammer and things like that. There's mobile units that we're going to be getting in that game. So there's clues there.
Do any of you find it perhaps a bit odd that maybe Relic aren't doing Halo Wars rather than Creative Assembly? Because obviously Creative Assembly have got Total War as their thing, whereas Relic have had Dawn of War, Company of Heroes, whereas that suits the more squad-based RTS.
Yeah.
My guess is Creative Assembly's kind of breaking out a little, right? I mean, it was a small studio focused all in on Total War.
Now it's going crazy.
Yeah, now they've got all these different Total War games. They're branched out to Warhammer. I never played it, but because I was never into the Alien genre. But from what I hear, they knocked out the Alien game after some past major disappointments in the Aliens franchise.
Alien Isolation is probably the best Alien game to be honest.
I watch Angry Joe every now and then just for fun, and I saw him reviewing like the Colonial Marines, and I was just laughing at how much he hates it. And then I watched him review the new one, and I was like, wow, they must have made some people happy.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that maybe you're seeing Creative Assembly, making some leaps or something. I don't know. I'm not inside their business. I can't say, but I'm thinking that they're probably making an impression with people. I mean, there's really nothing like Total War out there, and they've kind of kept this niche fan base and grown it. And maybe they're hoping that they can, take some stuff from that success and apply it into other strategy games. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, if you have a look at any of their Twitters at the moment, they are pushing out that they are hiring like crazy for numerous teams. They are expanding like crazy. And when myself and Warrior went to the studio a couple of weeks back, they've just moved into another whole floor for development. So they are. I think probably they must be heading towards one of the larger UK-based games studios.
They're a AAA game studio, aren't they? We class them as a AAA. Yeah, definitely.
They're definitely Sega's most successful studio at the minute.
Definitely, because they've got Sports Interactive, but that's nowhere near as...
And they do have Relic as well, but...
Yeah.
Apart from, Company Heroes 2, that was released in 2013, they haven't really heard much from Relic.
I mean, supposedly refreshed the license for Dawn of War 3 or that website link apparently recently.
Right.
So people are starting to think, oh, right, they're working on the Dawn of War 3, so that looks like, they're quite successful. Plus they've got Company of Heroes going, so yeah. Looks like CA is going up and away with titles and...
Thanks to like four or five games in development at the minute.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, if not more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely stuff we won't know about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to go back very quickly to Warhammer and the fact that a lot of people that I've seen recently saying that Warhammer, in terms of Games Workshop, it's dead in the current state, and how this game will be trying to rekindle something that's being lost in Warhammer. Is that right?
They've recently changed the rules around immensely. I think they've turned it into the Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
Now.
From what I understand, it's kind of like when World of Warcraft had their Cataclysm event. Like they've destroyed the world, essentially, the old world in Warhammer. And what they're doing now is they're kind of now doing prequel game to all of what they've done before in the old world. They've gone to the Age of Sigmar, as Rambler said, and the origins of the empire and everything like that. Because
I don't.
Because you've got it's actually Sigmar.
I think they've turned it into but it's I think it's what's happened is that the end time has come and the world has ended, but there've been different realms kind of saved. And Sigmar has sent down his army now to save the world, I think.
I thought it was like a cult of Sigmar.
This is kind of what I've taken in from my friend who's really into Warhammer. But half of it goes like over my head.
Because there's the cult of Sigmar. That's afterwards, and that's towards what we're at now, aren't we? The cult of Sigmar. That's
because he was a man that became a god.
And he went, didn't he? He disappeared, didn't he? Apparently.
And they've also changed the rules around a lot. From what I gather, it's not based on points anymore. I think it's based on units that you can take in. So it's kind of like messed up the balance of the game as well.
Yeah, it
does kind of attract more players. That's the impression that I've got. I think my friend is very much an 8th edition, whatever an 8th edition rule set is. I don't really know, but
I think it's kind of like revisions of the sort of sets, like the final one. But yeah, I mean, from what I see on forums, people are not too happy about it going to Age of Sigmar, and they're kind of wondering how, because this obviously Total Warhammer won't really be a tie-in because the world that it would tie into is dead apparently. So it's kind of like, what is this? How does this fit in? And I mean, obviously a lot of people are kind of upset because Warhammer model tabletop is not a cheap hobby. It's very expensive.
No.
So
yeah.
Have you ever played tabletop games, Air? You're into modelling, or not just with Warhammer but anything?
No, but when I was a young lad aspiring to be an engineer, I did do a lot of model building, but it was mostly like Apache helicopters and F-16 jets and stuff like that.
Anyone can build an Orc. I've got an Apache.
Yeah, so that was more what I was into. But no, I could definitely understand the draw too. When I was a kid, I liked that kind of stuff. But I guess that as video games evolved, we found ourselves maybe being a little busier in the electronic realm. At least I did.
Yep. Right.
What was that? What was that 80s series like Knight Rider? But it was the one for the helicopters.
Oh, I don't know. I'm
Apache
not sure I ever saw that.
Something.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm going to find out.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
Airwolf. Sodja. Airwolf.
Never heard of it.
No. Beyond.
Oh, I bet the people in the
before my
comments
time.
know about Airwolf. Yeah.
That's another dad comment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Airwolf.
Arbor of Free, Mr. Sparta.
Yeah.
Going strong.
Big Daddy.
Only another 297
Yeah.
to get your own personal bodyguard.
Let's get shagging.
Is Gemma in earshot?
No, not
Good.
yet.
Good.
Today.
Oh dear. Well, Air's got to pop off to a meeting because he's a busy man, and we grabbed him for a short spell while he was in between some work. But cheers, Air, for joining us. And if you guys have no clue who he is, he's an absolutely fantastic Total War YouTuber. You can find his channel linked in the description. I didn't say world's best, Rambler. Calm down.
No, I was just saying. No, I was just going to say, I think everyone knows who he is.
Oh. Well, if you don't...
You don't know, because I know some people don't even know who Lionheart is, so...
Who's Lionheart?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But if you don't know who he is, or if... I don't know. His channel's in the description. Go check it out. Cheers, Air.
Bye!
Good to see you in
Picture form.
Skype. Didn't actually see you.
Right, so... Stellaris.
Jinx!
Oh.
Shotgun!
What?
Reload!
No. What? No, he's Jinx. He can't talk. Shush now, tall. Are you actually going to stick to it? The thing is...
No, I'm gonna talk.
Lionheart is 10. It's okay, you can talk now.
Thanks.
So Stellaris, we're going to talk about a few games about Gamescom, aren't we? And the first one is Stellaris. So that is a new game by Paradox. And according to the blurb, I've seen the trailer and it looks pretty sweet, but the trailer is just like a teaser trailer, didn't really give much away. So it's from the makers of Crusader Kings and Europa Universalis, if you don't know who Paradox are. It's an evolution of the grand strategy genre with space exploration at its core. Have you guys seen the trailer?
I have seen the trailer.
Oh, okay. So it's the main features of the game. I'm sorry, I have to read this out because otherwise I have like a memory like a sieve sometimes. So
Do it like you when you read out in the Rome 2 thing when you read it.
Oh god, no! Oh no!
Discovery events,
No.
emergent storytelling, deep and varied exploration, enormous procedural star systems containing thousands of planets, numerous playable factions, each with their own traits and engineering styles. Vast number of unique
Anyone
random
feeling sleepy now?
species, advanced diplomacy system, ship designer, even civilian ships can be customized, and stunning space visuals.
And if that doesn't excite you about the game, then nothing
What the hell
will.
does?
When I'm doing that, it kind of reminds me of who's that really cynical comedian?
Will Self?
Huh?
Will Self?
No.
No.
He's on lots of panel shows. Jack D.
Oh,
Jack
Jack D. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really love talking about life. That's just Jack D, really, isn't it?
So, yeah. So I mean, it looks good, but I'd like more details.
So
I can't really
is
really
it a
talk
grand
about
strategy, or is it a four times strategy?
It's a grand strategy, but it focuses on exploration. So maybe the whole map isn't explored, so you do have to still go out and explore. But it's still meant to be a grand strategy.
Yeah, first
I
grand
think-
strategy in space,
Yeah,
which is
but you're exploring as well.
yeah.
Mm.
So it's not
So-
it's not a Civ type title. It's
No,
that Crusader King. So lots of menus and.
I imagine it will be
management.
a cross between Sins of a Solar Empire and Crusader Kings.
That sounds pretty good to me because I love Sins of Solar Empire and I would love to love Crusader Kings 2.
Yeah.
But I can't get into it. Well, I'm struggling to get into it. I'm still learning the ropes of Crusader Kings.
Yeah, how many hours have I played it for? Let me have a look. I've played it for 23 hours according to Steam, and I'm still dire. I can't do anything.
I never played. I played it for. Hang on. Universe. Hang on. No.
Got it.
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Oh.
Wow.
3 minutes.
Europa.
Did you just get through the intro trailer then?
I think I looked at the menu and thought, "Sod this, I'm out of here."
You never saw this.
It's got a steep learning curve, but it's one of those games that apparently it's quite. Talking to some friends that get really into their campaigns, it's really rewarding because you really do craft your own like stories and campaigns. It's just getting to that point where you can kind of reflect on it.
I think I'm too thick for the game. That's the problem. That's why. Total War is my maximum threshold.
Is Hearts of Iron Force coming out this year as well, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Is that meant to be?
That's a grand strat.
That's even more. That's kind of a more advanced.
I think that's even
Hearts of Iron 3. I won't even touch that because it's just like menus. Your army's a menu.
Oh my
basically.
god!
Yeah, it's lots of management, but again, I guess it's that rewarding gameplay when you pull off like a combined assault or something like that, and you've strung it together for the previous 2 hours.
You can play as Hitler.
Oh, winner!
Yeah.
Is that really a selling point?
Yeah. No.
Although Quill 18's doing a campaign at the minute where he's entitled it playing as Hitler.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah. Let me just.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Yep.
If Hitler hadn't done what he'd done and go beyond that, he would have been classed as one of the greatest military leaders of all time. But he went too far.
Yeah.
He did.
Oh yeah, I know he went too far.
But no.
Not denying that. No.
No. But I mean, if you took in what he did,
to be honest, I've actually got a book which is entitled Hitler, a Military Commander, and I really should read it sometime because it doesn't focus on any of the master race, any of that. But it looks at the military strategy that he employed, and I've never looked in it because I've never really had that much interest in it.
What he did for Germany as well. How he brought Germany back up from his disaster.
That stuff I did actually study at uni, and I mean economy wise and industry, the production rates went through the roof. He brought it out of the edge of the First World War to a superpower within Europe in terms of an economy and industry.
And if you look at him like that, brilliant. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's a tough topic, isn't it? But
because it wasn't to be Hitler, but they're going like that way as well.
Do you? Yeah, I mean, those that have perhaps looked at Hitler from the military, the general commander aspect. What are your thoughts on him? If you compare him to say someone like Napoleon or
exactly.
What have you,
put him in if you put a list of all the greatest military commanders of all time, Alexander the Great, all of them like that, Hitler has to be, thought of in that.
He didn't learn from Napoleon.
No, he didn't learn from his mistakes.
No one's learned that yet, have they?
No, everyone goes
to
Russia.
Don't go to Russia.
Yeah,
and either you will freeze, or the diesel will freeze, or the horses will freeze. Something will freeze.
I love that. Don't go to Russia. Something will freeze.
Yeah.
Is that on the brochure?
Yeah, probably. But don't get me wrong, guys. I mean, before you say, I totally, what he did was appalling, but just taking that aspect of him was pretty impressive. Pretty impressive.
Can I see shades of grey on your side there, Warrior?
What?
Like hints of grey there.
Oh yes, I've had grey for a while now. I thought you said can you see 50 Shades of Grey? I was like, what the bloody hell? Never seen it, never wanted to.
EGX, Warrior. EGX.
That's 54 Shades of Grey.
Should say actually, while we're at it, why not? Anyone going to EGX? Because if you do, you'll meet the Warcast.
You'll see me in the press area being like.
We're actually doing a live Warcast on stage of the Twitch.
That's what we've been invited to do, which is an honour and a privilege, and also earns us a lot of money. So
yes, we're getting paid a shed load.
If you're doing, no,
No, we're not. We're
Yeah,
not. It's
we're
all
not.
lies.
Should we actually start our own little panel, maybe like just in the canteen?
Or like Warcast.
yeah,
con.
yeah, the Warcast, a little like, A4 poster.
I thought you were going to say
up.
like start our own con somewhere.
Oh
Warcast
no,
con.
no,
Like Jesse Cox's.
yeah, CoxCon.
Con, that was like hugely successful.
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah.
ours. I think it'd be like one guy that comes in and says,
and his
"Can you
dog."
move now?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, one
Can
guy
you-
and his dog.
It's time to go. Close up shop.
Do you want a cup of tea? No,
What
no.
about a Total War con?
Con? Rome 2.
I don't know if that. Oh, you
Sorry,
firecracker!
You're watching this, sorry, guys.
No, I don't know if it would work. I don't know if a Total War Con would work. I don't know if the audience is big enough. Well, yeah, I mean, it would be big enough to have a little small one, but
In Preston.
oh god, yeah.
In the village hall at Preston.
Have it down in Horsham at the headquarters, where it all began, where it was all born.
Yeah, but Craig's from Preston.
Yeah, he is. Not more north than I am.
Have you guys besides EGX, have you ever been to like a con somewhere?
I have been to MCM Expo. I've also been to Toronto Comic Con.
I really want to go to Comic Con one year in
Nathan
somewhere.
Fillion was at Toronto Comic Con.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah. There's quite a few famous people there in Toronto, but I guess because it's quite easy for them just to hop up from New York to Toronto.
Yeah.
And
Actually,
it's all...
I was on Twitter earlier, and I saw that the guy that played the Green Power Ranger, he goes to a lot of conventions. I don't even care. I would love to meet him because he was like my childhood hero.
They have a Power Rangers con, don't they?
I hope so. There probably is.
Yeah,
one.
because
There must be one,
a guy
surely.
called Joe, like, he does a channel called Joe Goes. He went to it once.
Oh wow!
Did like an interview there. Hold on.
Wow.
Joe Goes Power.
But yeah. It's was it Jason David Frank or something like that? I think is the actor that played the Green Power Ranger and the White Power Ranger and various red.
Oh yeah,
Power
because he came
Rangers.
back. Didn't he? Something happened to him. I was mortified when he lost it to the Green. When did he die? Did he actually die?
He lost his Green Power Ranger powers, and they brought him
Yeah,
back as
that's
the White
it.
Power Ranger. They gave him
And
a
he
new
came back.
morphing coin, and let me stop because otherwise I'll go on about my favourite
Yeah, but-
Zords.
I loved it how my nan called it. My nan called it before it happened. She said,
She called it. I love how your
he'll come-
nan called that.
He'll come back. Don't worry, James. And I was like, okay, then right. And there he did. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay. And he
That
did.
was-
He came back as a white one. I was like, yes.
that was my Sunday mornings on GMTV.
Yes.
Power Rangers with a bit of recess as well. Rugrats.
I used to love the Power Rangers film.
Oh yeah.
Arnold. Remember Arnold? Hey, Arnold.
I didn't like Hey Arnold. I didn't like the shape of his head.
Football
I just
head.
don't trust someone with that shape of head.
No.
Oh.
Is that headist?
I never got
Yeah.
into SpongeBob.
Yeah, I don't like SpongeBob.
No, it's quite crazy.
Right.
Just got it there.
Where did we go?
We've
Gamescom.
gone from Stellaris
Yeah,
to
to
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob.
It's a Hitler.
Classic. Oh,
Oh god. Classic Warcast, basically.
banter.
Sweat patch
Gotta
as
love a
well.
bit of
I showed
banter.
there. Beautiful.
Me?
No, me when I lifted my arm up.
I am clean.
You're
Sweat.
you're hidden by your Twitch handle anyway. It's fine. Like your arms right now. Okay, now you're showing.
Maple Leafs.
Please fall off your chair again. Oh damn.
Oh, no, let's get the Pittsburgh Penguins out. Come on, Toronto Maple. He's getting down.
No.
Pittsburgh
Right.
Penguins.
Well, I think the only other game we discussed we were going to talk about briefly was Mountain Blade Bannerlord, which
Bannerlord, gotta love a bit of
or Mountain Blade
Bannerlord.
2, as
Yeah,
some
we
call it.
saw the video and we saw the
So,
sort of trailer
yeah,
game.
They
like.
teased
Pretty
this ages ago, but the trailer did look pretty cool. For those who don't know what Mountain Blade is, it's an RPG, kind of almost open world sandbox action strategy title, and it allows you to roam around the kingdoms, recruit men, fight battles with them, and you can push the
Those aren't guns, and that's the guns.
you can push
There
the
is guns.
the battles.
There's the guns.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
various
there's a
eras.
fire and sword expansion. And there's a Napoleonic
Wars, yeah.
expansion.
I used to
Oh
be
yeah,
a
but that's,
regiment.
oh, I'm thinking about Bannerlord, but yeah, sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
But
yeah.
yeah, Bannerlord is back to the medieval sort of setting. I think it's set actually 200 years before the kingdoms of the Mountain Blade Warband game, so it's kind of the foundations of those kingdoms that they're going for. But the trailer basically showed off the implementation of siege weapons, crafting, and seasons. Yeah, and
Seasons have never been really implemented into a game of that nature,
No,
like
not well.
Skyrim. No, you know, sort of the games like you never had seasons in those sort of.
Yeah.
open world
Is
games.
Kingdom Come Deliverance having the seasons?
I don't think so.
They're having weather though, aren't they? They're having.
Because I think seasons is quite a big mechanic to implement.
And also,
into
isn't Kingdom Come's quite a day-to-day sort of missions, isn't it? It's not going over months.
Oh no, sorry, yeah.
Because with Mount & Blade, you sit and encamp with your troops for days and weeks and months, and you pay a regular tax and stuff.
Yeah.
But, they also, which would be potentially useful if we ever want to do some montages or some cool cinematics, they've also shown off work in progress of their replay editor, so you can actually pin the camera on like a rail, so it will follow the character around really nicely and smoothly as you're fighting in a replay and stuff.
Oh, sweet.
Which looks pretty cool. I mean, it's shaping up to be awesome. It's just it's taking a long time between we get any kind of information.
It's a fairly small studio, isn't it?
Yeah, they're Turkish,
they're taking on.
I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're taking on a lot of ambition. What are you laughing at?
Just thinking about something else. So.
But I remember actually playing the original Mount & Blade on a demo disc from PC Gamer when they used to do the demo disc with the magazine each month. He's gone. They've gone again.
Put a picture of Samuel Tarley.
Is he put it in the? I can't open it up because otherwise it will move all of your webcams out of formation. You guys, what you guys like? You're doing this to a partially deaf guy right now.
Sorry.
Warrior, you're tired because of your child. Rambler, what's the excuse?
That's funny.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Oh dear.
Sorry, Mount & Blade.
Mount & Blade. Yeah.
Probably make a character like Samuel.
Yeah.
Should I? Yeah. I'll be my first Let's Play with it. Mount & Blade Bannerlord. The Rise of Samuel Tarley. Oh dear.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the first game I remember playing off like a demo disc years and years ago. And back then I remember reading the piece in the magazine. They were saying it was like a husband and wife studio team. He was a coder and she was a digital artist, and between them they started making this game, Mount & Blade.
Wow, that's amazing.
And then it's kind of grown from there. Obviously they've taken more people on. And they had Paradox. Yes,
but they've
independent.
They're self-published now. Tale Worlds.
Could you say Paradox again in that? Because that was very, very nice. I enjoyed how you said Paradox then.
Paradox.
Yes.
Paradox.
Beautiful.
With a
Ladies,
very sultry voice sometimes.
paint me like one of your French girls, Rambler.
I haven't had any French girls.
Yet.
Yes. There's always time.
Yeah, I mean, how are people reacting to Mount & Blade Bannerlord hype? Let's know in the comments. Because
I mean, I'm hyped for it.
Yeah, it looks good. It's just now I don't expect anything else for like another 6 months.
Exactly. It's I mean, how long? When was Bannerlord first announced? When was it first?
Ages ago.
12.
Like a couple of years ago, I would have thought. Now.
Oh, the game was announced in 2012, apparently.
Oh my god!
I mean,
according to Wikipedia,
it's not a bad thing that they're taking so long. Just hope that it's really good when it comes out. I would assume they've got a much bigger budget than they did for, say, Warband and everything.
Yeah, must have.
And there's a very active modding community, and they've recently re-released the Viking Conquest DLC as the Reforged edition.
Yes, because apparently that shouldn't have been released in the state that it was.
Yeah, it was. This is the second time they've hired a part of a mod team, because the Napoleonic Wars DLC was actually from a mod team. They made a Napoleonic-esque module for the game for Mount & Blade Warband, and then the Tale Worlds were like, this is really good. We should make this officially. So I think they hired a couple of the mod team and they released that, and they did the same thing with Viking Conquest. That was from the
Breton Mulder.
Yep. You did videos on that, didn't you?
A few. Yeah. I sucked at it. I did a few videos on Breton Mulder and on the Viking Conquest.
I will tell you one thing I do like about the new Reforged edition for Viking Conquest is that you can actually now, rather than starting as just a lord on your own, you with no lands and everything, you can actually start as a lord of a castle, so you already have land and you can go from there. So it's, you can start as a king. Actually, you can play as a king from the off and control all your vassal lords, and so it gives you different starting things. I think that's going to filter into Bannerlord. I think.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't yawning at you. I'm just yawning because I'm tired. I've been up for a while. I go to the gym before work in the morning. I'm at work for 8. Get to the gym around 7.
Cool. He's a beast.
Yeah.
So
nice.
I think that's pretty much all we were going to talk about anyway. But we've got the channel Channel of the month?
Yeah, who did we decide on? We didn't actually decide.
The 3-minute histories, wasn't it?
Yes, the chap that I recommended, yeah.
Yes, do tell.
Jabsy? Jazzy.
Can you say his name?
Jabsy.
Jabsy.
Jabsy. He does 3-minute histories, and I think he hand draws them all the pictures in paint.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's they're actually quite educational, but they are quite they're fun as well.
Yeah, Jabsy.
So yeah, Jabsy. Right first time.
Yep.
So although it's not Total War, it's still historical. So I mean, the most recent one was the Punic Wars. Oh no, that wasn't the recent one. The most recent one was the Third Crusade in 3 minutes. He also does the history of flags as well, but the majority have been like the Norman conquest of England in 3 minutes, the Macedonian Wars in 3 minutes. You got the First War of Scottish Independence, anything and everything.
How does he cram that into 3 minutes?
Some over 4 minutes.
Yeah, because those topics.
Actually, most of them are above 3 minutes. Lies.
The chap that does histories in several minutes. Go check him out. But yeah, so we looked at extra credits last month, which sort of do these big videos with animation stuff, and this is a guy doing a lower budget, but they're really informative. Actually, I was watching quite a few of them earlier, and he knows his stuff, and he gets across all the information you need to know in
what you want.
3 to potentially 4 minutes.
Yeah,
5.
3
to 5 minutes.
Right,
5 minutes.
we're done, aren't we? We're done.
Do we usually do something else or something?
No, we're not doing any competitions this month, are we?
Not this month.
Well, what else have we done before?
I think we're
We done
done.
mod stuff?
We were looking at Gamescom stuff and Halo Wars and getting Air on and more Warhammer stuff.
And talking about Warhammer.
Have either of you played Halo Wars?
No.
Oh.
Neither of
People
us.
people in the comments. Have you played Halo Wars?
Yeah.
It was alright.
Yeah.
I wish TA would stop developing games I don't know anything about.
Just develop games that I know stuff about.
Yeah.
What do you know about Warrior?
Yeah. What would you like their next game? Totally different IP. What would you like them to make?
For CA to do. FIFA 17.
No, that's already probably in the works by EA. Mate.
No. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking forward to what they're going to be doing next after Warhammer because I'm very excited. I think there could be something big coming out of it, from what I feel for. So yeah,
Feel it in the
Lord
air.
of the Rings Total War.
no, I don't think it would be. No, the license of that would be incredibly expensive.
They did Battle for Middle Earth and things like that. They've made some fairly average Warhammer.
That was
Lord of
EA,
the
wasn't
Rings
it? Yeah.
games. Yeah, but that wasn't a bad game. It was quite fun.
Battle for Middle-earth was good, yeah, and the second one, I didn't like some of the changes that they made, but it was still a reasonable game, and they tied in to sort of the movies, didn't they? At the end, there, sort of showing of the war in the north, and I don't even
Game
know,
of Thrones sort of.
I don't even know who has the Lord of the Rings license though for strategy. But yeah, Game of Thrones, he's wiggling his finger like crazy.
They could get that one because Paradox tried to have a chat with George R. Martin about that, but didn't pay off.
Did they not?
They were going to try and get some sort of Crusader Kings-esque.
The mod for Crusader Kings 2, they don't need to make the game. They've got the mod is that good. Yeah.
Well, there is one for Medieval 2, which is still at like 0.53 version.
Westeros.
Yeah, I just think it's just the modders just don't have as much time to really make big, meaningful updates. So I think they're still working on it, but it's just going to be a very long time before we ever see that in a full, complete state.
Yeah.
That's, to be honest, probably worth waiting for. Basically, I think you're gonna have to wait a long time to get the full experience from that.
I look really scruffy.
I've got
Who's
a really red
scruffy
face. I've got a bit sunburned at the chili festival the other day.
I need to shave.
I need to grow my beard back.
So
I need more hair.
So what did you do
Give
then?
me your hair.
What?
Give me your hair.
What? No, I'm got a bit of baldness going on back here. I'm not giving you any mind.
We all have. The bald triumvirate.
I think Warcast sounds better.
Now, what was your brother doing yesterday? Was he?
Oh, right. So, okay, yeah. If maybe I'll probably put it in the description as well. I'll put to the little vine I made. There's a local chili festival every year near where I live, and 2 years ago I went with my girlfriend, And when I was back at uni, I'd had a ghost chili, which is 1,000,000 Scovilles on the heat scale, and it burnt my mouth. Felt like it was burning and everything for about 15 minutes. Stomach felt fine, and I had lots of milk, and I was fine after about 15 minutes of the ghost chili. That was 1,000,000 Scovilles. At the chili festival 2 years ago, there was a guy selling a 6,000,000 Scoville sauce, and there were free dips and stuff, and you could try it. And there was a little bit on a testing spoon, so I grabbed the little spoon. It was only a little much on it, and I just plopped it in my mouth. My stomach was in agony for about 2 hours. It felt like someone had ripped my stomach out, and you would have thought that someone is going to make a fortune at a chili festival selling pints of milk for like £2. There was no milk stand. There was no milk stand. There was not even a frozen yogurt or milkshake
what's the sensation
stand.
like in your mouth? Is it really
well,
bad
in my mouth? It just burnt, but that wasn't the worst of it. It was just it hit your stomach, and you could just feel it burning everything inside as it went, and then it sat in your stomach, and just felt like it was corroding my stomach from the inside. It felt like someone had ripped my stomach out. I was just.
You sure he didn't give you turpentine?
Could well have been. Could well have been.
So, was that Vine from 2 years ago?
No. That Vine, we then went this year.
Right.
And I told my brother and my friend, don't have the 6,000,000 Scoville. It will screw you over for the whole day. You'll feel like crap. You'll feel sick. Your stomach will hurt. You'll be rolling around on the floor going, why? And they went, oh, it can't be that bad. Bit of bread on the sauce. And so yeah, I filmed my brother's reaction. In fact, I've also one of my friends uploaded to Facebook a slow-mo of the moment when the chili heat hit, and it is brilliant because he's just like.
For those of you who may be watching or listening to this on iTunes, you can't tell what Lionheart's face looks like right now.
In pain, lots of pain.
Yes, in pain.
But yeah, so I vined sort of the moral of the story, which was that I warned them and they didn't listen to me, so they cried.
Yeah.
just streaming out. The funniest thing was while we were filming this random guy came up and went, I did that earlier. Bloody hurts. I was just like, okay. Random guy.
You tell him now. You tell me now.
Yeah. Cheers, mate. Yeah. Can't even imagine what the poo was like after.
Oh,
fiery.
Mine are fiery after a masala, so
you could power the.
Yeah, because you could power bloody Chernobyl on his.
You're gonna love sharing a hotel room with me, Mr. Sparta.
Oh, I'm gonna purposely feed him lots of chili throughout the day. Just in his drinks, like a bit of chili.
You shared the plate with him.
Bit of chili. But yeah.
I should bed with him.
Guess that's it. But yeah, if I think there's still some tickets there for EGX. So seriously, if you're in the UK and you fancy going up to Birmingham for a couple of days, 3 of us will be there.
It's the biggest event in UK.
We could try and do a little meet-up on one day, couldn't we?
Yeah, we'll do a meet-up. Yeah, come visit the Warcast.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
If there are any other YouTubers that we know going, we could all try and have a little big meet-up.
Yeah,
have a sesh.
Because this is the last time we'll record. No, we'll actually record one more before EGX, so we'll really sort of promote it next time, shall we?
Yeah, get your tickets now before they run out.
Yeah, I think Saturday's basically sold out.
Yeah, but it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
We're there for
23 days. 4th to 27th?
Yeah, it's the last weekend in September.
We've got press passes 4 days, haven't we?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yes, we do, sir.
So yeah, come visit. There'll be pretty much all the latest and upcoming games on show across
Warhammer.
Various consoles. Hopefully there'll be some Warhammer stuff there. I'm hoping there'll be the Ragnarok model that they had at Gamescom.
Yeah, Gamescom.
Yeah,
exploding out the wall.
Gets it. Why can't EGX Eurogamer get it?
They've already spent the money on the model.
Yeah, come on, give it to us as well.
We want it behind Rambler's head on the wall.
Yeah,
great. Imagine that. Just like nibbling on his hair.
Yeah. There may be stuff for Arena there. So
I'd have thought Arena would be there doing stuff.
Apparently, people saw us all 3 of us in Cologne.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think they were showing back the replay or something like that.
Oh, were they?
Yeah. I think
my epic cavalry skills.
and Diplex celebrating when his artillery got destroyed.
Great editing that was by ESL.
Well,
yeah.
We've talked about lots of stuff. You can find all the timestamps down below.
Good luck with that one.
Yeah. Whose turn is it to do them this month? Shotgun not.
Shotgun.
Too late, mate.
I'm ill.
It is. I'm ill. I'm deaf in an ear.
I can't hear.
Deaf in an ear, mate.
I'm deaf in both ears.
Right, well, you can find all the links. You can find Heir of Carthage channel there. And, if you have any suggestions for who you'd like to see next on the Warcast, or topics and stuff you want to see covered, let us know. Chat about stuff. We'll see you next month.
Bye!
This is the world's Total War player. Wait.
This is the world's Total War. He's had his chance. He's gone.
No, I messed it up. I messed up the sign off. This is the world's best Total War player saying good night. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. For fuck's sake.
Good night.
Ciao for now.